hope I've mixed this one a little better than the last lot. So it's more like a mud pie than it is pancake mix. So nice and wet, but not runny. So I'm just going to grab a bit like this. I'm going to make myself a mud pie. I've got my nice big gloves on, and then push it into all the spaces. Now what's good about this particular brand of grout is that it doesn't have a problem with some of the wide spaces I've chosen to keep here around my flowers. So I did want the sort of black space to make everything really quite separate. So I'm pushing it all in there as much as possible. Get another mud pie. Excellent. Now I've only made up 2 cups worth of grout. This will take way more grout because thicker gaps and deeper gaps. Whereas the previous one with the little heart had smaller gaps, but also the tiles are only like 4 mil thick at the best. So you can see I'm really pressing that in. I'm using firmer gloves this time round because I haven't smoothed off all the edges. So the likelihood of cutting myself or cutting the gloves is really quite increased. So I'm just taking it carefully because I know I'm going to have to do another grout round. And being quite firm to get it into all those spaces and cracks, because remember this bowl is going to be underwater. It's also going to be exposed to some freeze dry, but nowhere near the temperatures people have in the US in terms of cold. Is scraping it around the top here, and I know it's going into all those creases. And then the excess I can just scrape onto the top there and spread it around. So you can see that I'm going to have way less grout wastage with this amazing little tool. And I got this from the local tradies shop where they sell to tiling tradies, this tool. And it's just fantastic. So now I'm just going to leave this for 15 minutes before I come back to it. Any bits I miss, I can get on the next round. This is going to go off really quickly, I can feel it. It's hazing really quickly as well, which means in our warm day, I'll need to be on this right away. Otherwise I'll have a really horrible job to clean up. So with that I have slightly dampened cloths to take off the top haze. As soon as it hazes I'm taking it off. A lot of people don't like this Maypie grout for this reason, but what you need is rags that are just ever so slightly damp. Every grout is different. If you add too much water to your rags or have wet rags or drippy sponges, you increase your likelihood of cracks and things like that in your grout, as near as I understand it. Yeah, I've got a dry rag. Grout is still a little bit damp because it's creating more hazes. So now I need to leave it to haze again before I have another wipe. How's it looking with its black grout? Let me turn around and have a look at the camera. Oh my goodness me, that does look impressive. Wow. I'll just show you what I did to the bottom. Because I actually want the bottom to be terracotta colour, I've wrapped it all up in masking tape and I'll do the edge to here. And then the rest of this will remain terracotta because it goes perfectly with those orange tiles and it looks just terrific. I say this part of the yard is really showing it off beautifully. And can you imagine that with its water in it? So pretty. I can clean off the bigger spaces like the larger leaves. Here I've got glue on the outside, so I'll be scrubbing that off tomorrow with tile and grout cleaner. Now I know I've got round mirrors, so I want to go through and check all the mirrors are in fact round and none are buried. Very important for the centre of my flowers. But you can see that grout is still wet because it's creating more moisture around there. But I can take the excess at this point in time off the tile faces themselves. My leaves are not buried. All the shapes are good. So round one grouting is pretty much done now. I've wiped off the excess. Tomorrow it will need cleaned where they're a little bit still stuck on here that I'll scrape off. Make sure that everything, oh, missed that one completely, that we've got nice straight bits where the grout doesn't need to be. And I've actually got a piece here that's still got sticky tape on it, would you believe? There's also little bits where when I've cut, there's been a little bit of a give on the surface of the tile. When I scrub that tomorrow with tile and grout cleaner, that will all go away and it'll be ready for its seal. So there's no need to get all hung up about that. That's all dead easy to take care of, and I think it's looking pretty good. I'm loving those purple tiles and these mirrors. These purple mirrors, I'm in love with them as well. What do you think?